Well, Coach, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here at Beat the Streets. I love this organization, doing great things, and thank you guys for showing up and giving me your attention. We want to remember one thing. Throughout this whole ordeal, throughout our whole little talk today, this is for you. I know this stuff already. This is for you. You have a question, you need something clarified, please feel free to ask. Just stick your hand up, say, Coach, whatever. Call on me. We're here to help. Okay. So let me ask you, what percentage of being successful in wrestling do you think has to do with your mindset? Anyway, 90, 95%, right? So experts say anywhere from 80 to 90%. So that's a lot, right? Now ask yourself, how much time do you spend on mindset? 3? None, right? So if it's 90% or even 80% of how you perform, why aren't you spending the time on that? Why aren't you putting that effort into the mindset? Because your mind is the most powerful weapon that you have. It can help you overcome anything. And I will tell you, the mindset that I got from wrestling is what has helped me be successful. And we didn't have this stuff when I was back in the day when I was training. I went through high school and our mindset was, go get him, yeah, you're the best, yeah, I'll kill him. Right? No, that's not really mindset, okay? But when I got out of college, I got more into the fighting arts after I stopped wrestling, and I was pretty decent at it, but I was consistently inconsistent. Is there anybody here sometimes, you do great and then you beat someone really good and then you lose somebody, shouldn't even be on the mat with you, things like that, right? It happens. And I was consistently inconsistent. So I'm like, God, I should be winning all the time, not, all over the place. So there's this guy, Dr. Gilbert. You guys ever hear of Dr. Gilbert? He was a pioneer in the sports psychology. And actually, in our program, Dr. Gilbert is on the Success Hotline. So if you call our Success Hotline, you get Dr. Gilbert. He's the guy who trained me. And this was in the 80s. Like, oh my God, my parents weren't born then. So this was back then. Okay? And I was fighting in my first black belt tournament. And I'd been through this training, and my coach says to me, hey, I want you to watch this guy. You're fighting him next. Now, what do you think I said to him? What do you think I said? I said no. My coach looked at me like I had 3 heads. You're fighting this guy next. Why? You need to watch him, see what he does. You know what I said? I go, I don't care. I don't care what he does. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to execute my game plan. I'm going to make him play into my sandbox. I'm not going to change my style for him. Well, I wound up winning first place, beat all my opponents, and my coach never bothered me about that again. But what do you think? Why do you think that is important that I didn't do that? What do you think that mindset is? You guys familiar with predator versus prey? Yeah, go ahead. You have to feel comfortable with yourself. But let's take it another step further, okay? You guys familiar with predators, right? Can you name some? Name a predator. Lion, right? What's another one? Tiger, right? Another one. Wolf, bear, right? Us. Okay? Now, what does a predator do? Does a predator concern themselves with extraneous things? Like a prey is a deer, a mouse, right? Chipmunk, rabbit, squirrel, things like that. Their eyes are on the side. Do they focus, or are they constantly nervous looking around? Right? You're a mountain lion sneaking up on a deer, right? You're like this. Where's your focus? On your objective, right? Your focus, you're dialed in on that objective. So what do? If we are focused on everything around us, how can we focus on our objective? You can't, can you? You're distracted easily. A prey mentality is thinking, or what I say, worrying about the opponent. I want to tell you something else. Worry is a wasted emotion. It takes you out of present moment. Worry is a wasted emotion. Just answer me. Can anyone tell me, is everyone in here worried? Right? We've all worried about something, right? Okay. What good did it do you? Nothing, right? All it does is sap your energy, take you out of the present moment, right? Take worry, put it in a ball, throw it out the window, get rid of it. Takes you out of present moment. We want to be present moment. And we want to maintain that predator attitude, not that prey. If I'm worried about my opponent, how can I focus on what I do? How can I focus on me? And can anyone tell me, there's not that much to focus on, believe it or not. There's only two things that matter when you're wrestling. Only two things. Who can tell me what they are? In any situation when you're on the mat. The minute you step onto that mat, there's only two things that matter. Who can tell me what they are? Yeah. You're kind of going the right way, but even more simple. 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 I'm sorry. Nope. Nope. Scoring points and pinning. Think about it. What else matters? Does it matter where they're from? Does it matter what their record is? Does it matter what kind of shoes they have on? No. Does it matter what round it is in the tournament? No. Scoring points and pinning. If you get taken down, what do you do? What do you have to do now? Score points. Get up, right? Get out, reverse them. Okay? Score points and pin them. You have an opportunity to pin them, you pin them. Two things that matter. That's it. Scoring points and pinning. Nothing else matters. Nothing. Get that in your head. And look, it's sometimes it's easy, you're sitting here listening to me talk, like, yeah, but putting it into effect, it's not always easy. But that's why you have to train at this, right? If you want it, what's your favorite takedown? Yeah. Double leg takedown, right? Beautiful takedown. First one you learn, right? Great. Now, if you didn't practice that every time, how good would it be? Not too good, right? So if you don't practice your mindset all the time, what's going to happen with that? It's not going to be any use to you, right? So that's the thing. That's why we want to make sure that we understand this, right? We understand this. So, if we're looking at mindset principles, right? Look around you. Look at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror, right? And you want to say to yourself, look at this gym you got here. Are you thankful for this gym? Oh yeah, I'd be. Are you thankful for your coaches? Oh yeah, I'd be. You got to be thankful for the opportunity to wrestle. Thankful for the opportunity to wrestle. How many people have your athletic ability to be able to do what you do? Walk down the street. You guys go to school, right? How many people in your class, how many people in your school have your athletic ability? Small portion, right? And then also have to have the mental acuity to do this too, right? Then you have to have the support network. You have to have the location. You have to have the coaching. You have to have the support. How thankful are you? Are you thankful? Yes. How thankful? Right. So you should be thankful for the opportunity to wrestle. You have a unique situation here. Now the other thing is, you need aggression. Be aggressive and relentless. And it doesn't matter, on the mat, off the mat, in pursuit of your goals. You want to be aggressive, and you never want to let up that pressure. Keep pushing the pace. If you're aggressive and you're relentless, it's kind of hard to stop, aren't you? If you keep pushing the pace, you ever try to wrestle or fight moving backwards? Yeah, how is that? It's not so good, right? Yeah, it doesn't work out too well. So you want to be the one applying the pressure. You want to make sure that you are the one dictating the terms of this match. When you step on that mat, that's your mat, your house. You own that mat. They're an unwanted visitor. Treat them as such. Let them know it. That's your home. What if somebody tried to, what if someone tried to break in your house? What would you do? Yeah, what would you do? Would you run? Take them on, right? Yeah, well, that mat is your home. Treat them like that. You're going to dictate the terms of this match. You dictate the terms. If someone ties up with you, you don't let them tie up. You're tie or no tie. You dictate the terms. Why wouldn't I let someone tie up with me? Why? What do you think? Well, if they try to tie up with me, why wouldn't I let them do that?
So they can't control you.
Yeah, because they're setting something up, aren't they? They want to do this. They're setting up their moves. Why am I going to let them set up their move? It's on my terms. So when you step out on that mat, you make it on your terms. So it's either my tie or no tie, right? Aggressive, relentless. You have no fear of losing or making mistakes. This is one of the hardest things. Who likes to lose? Like nobody, right? No one likes to lose. We all want to win. But sometimes, if we fear losing, we will wind up getting what we fear because we're going to wrestle closed. You guys ever watch Penn State? You ever watch, I love Mitchell Messenbrink. You ever watch him? Okay. Does he look like he wrestles with fear at all? No. He lets it all hang out. And I've seen him do resets in the middle of a match. We'll get to talk about those too. So you have to have no fear of losing or making mistakes, because if you are afraid of that, you're going to hold back. Is that a predator or prey mentality? That's a prey mentality, right? So one of the things that we want to do is we want to really focus on, hey, what's our predator, what's a prey mentality? Like, do you guys know who Rocco Delgado is? He's a two-time New Jersey heavyweight state champ, Fargo champ. So I know his dad very well, know the family. So we're down in the States, not last year, year before. And Rocco's in the semifinals. I said, Rocco, who are you wrestling next? What do you think his answer was to me? Yeah, I asked him, Rocco, who are you wrestling next? What do you think his answer was? Who wants to take a guess? I don't know. I don't know. Now, is that predator or prey mentality? That's predator, right? He doesn't care who they're putting up there. He's going to rip his arms off. And actually, he pretty much did. And, wound up pinning the guy in the finals. Tech this guy and pin the guy in the finals. And he doesn't care. Because if you think about it, just think about it. If you're wrestling someone who's 15-0 or 0-15, do you always want to do your best? So does it matter what the record is? No. It should have no bearing on your performance. It should have no bearing on your performance, because you always want to do your best no matter who you are, no matter who you're facing. Don't let that person change your style. Don't let that person change your approach. You're in command of this, and you want to stay in command of it. So, you have no fear of losing or making mistakes. Because if I'm worried about making a mistake, is that a predator or prey mentality? That's prey, right? Oh, look, that doesn't mean you go out there, trip, fall on your back, and pin yourself. No, but like you go for it. You go for moves. You work your setups. You work at your pace. You set the tone. You dictate the terms. Don't let them. You dictate the terms. And the last one is never, ever quit. Anybody play basketball or football or baseball? Okay. So, which one? Football? No. Oh, okay. So now, it's let's say it's the fourth quarter, and you're down 35-3. There's 3 minutes left on the clock. Are you going to win? Chances are, though. No. I mean, not saying you're ever going to give up. But if you're wrestling and you're down 10-3 and there's 2 seconds on the clock or 3 seconds on the clock, Do you have the opportunity to win? Yes. That's the difference with the combat sport. A stick and ball sport, it may be over with a little bit of time left. I'm not saying you should ever give up, because actually I will relay a really cool story about someone who impressed me in basketball. But the thing about the combat sports, whether it's boxing, MMA, wrestling, judo, whatever, if there's time on that clock, you can win. Look, I've been involved in thousands, I don't know, maybe millions, I don't know. I've been doing this stuff. I've been doing combat arts for 50 years. So yeah, probably longer, actually a little longer. But I can't even tell you how many times I've seen people win and lose at the buzzer. Win and lose at the buzzer. Gabe Steveson, right? He won the Olympics. You watch that match? He won at the buzzer, didn't he? A couple seconds left on the clock, right? Imagine if he gave up. Right? So never ever give up. I will tell you this. It's actually a basketball player. You guys familiar with Patrick Ewing at all? Okay. He was played for the Knicks in the 90s, 80s and 90s. He was a great basketball player. Patrick Ewing played for Georgetown, and I think they played Michigan in the finals. I think it was in 1984, and the game was lost. But I'll tell you what this guy did. He never gave up. He played his heart out till the whistle blew. The rest of the team had they quit. They quit. But he was there stealing balls. He was shooting. He was slamming dunk shots. He was doing everything. And it impressed the daylights out of me. I said, this guy's got heart. No, he did not give up. He did not quit. So that's what you want to have. You want to have that no quit. Because I'll tell you what happens when you quit in life? Kind of over, right? And you are going to face bad times. You are. Okay? But the stuff you learn here, the mindset, is going to help you get through. I don't know if you guys know this, but my last job that I ever had, in the corporate world, was I'll tell you where it was, and you can tell me, and then you'll know a little bit more about me. My office was in 25th floor, Tower 2. Yeah. So, changed my attitude a little bit about a lot of things, right? A lot of things changed then. A lot of things changed. And I realized that, you know what? Being here is a gift. Being able to come on a wrestling mat is a gift. So, take advantage of that. Definitely take advantage of it. So the thing is that, you also want to do things that are going to breed your confidence. Okay? Anybody ever do anything that was really tough? Yeah, tell me. I know you're like a scrappy dude. Tell me. What did you do that was really tough? Run a marathon, right? That's hard. Okay? I know my son's doing a half marathon Sunday. Yeah. So, and he was a shot put guy. He went to Division I shot put. So you know what he had to do to get down there, right? It's kind of tough. He's a big kid. So it's a difficult thing to do. But what does that do to your confidence? Boosted it, right? You think there's nothing you can't do now, right? Yeah. So you guys familiar with Navy SEALs and Green Berets and Delta Force and all that? They put them through a bunch of tasks. Why? Why do they put them through those tasks? Because they want to make them face challenges, right? Get them mentally tough. Make them push their bodies and minds beyond their limits, because it'll prepare them for the tasks ahead. This is why you're wrestling too. This is going to help you with your tasks ahead. Everything you do, all that work you do, that's going to help you. You run a marathon. It's hard to do. It takes a lot of mental and physical discipline. But you get that confidence that you can do almost anything else. So what you want to do is you want to give yourself little challenges. Like you want to make yourself, you want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean comfortable being uncomfortable? How many of you take the escalator instead of the stairs? Right? How many of you, take the easy route? Right? Let me ask you something. How many of you get up in the morning and do a workout? Just to let you know, I turned 63 last week. And so I always do something physical to celebrate my birthday. So I got up and I did 631 push-ups. Yeah, I did them in about 20-something minutes. Yeah. I typically, I usually wake up and do at least 100. But if you want to do something special, mark the birthday. So it took me about 23, 24 minutes to do that. But these are the challenges, right? These are challenges that you want to do. You want to give yourself challenges. There's another challenge that's really cool. I read about this years ago. You might want to try it. Okay? Take a glass of water, put it in your mouth, and you run 2 miles. Come back and spit the water back in the cup. Now you're a runner. You know that's hard, right? Yeah. Try that. It kills your mile time though. My mile time just plummeted. But what do you think that does to your mental attitude? Gives you a lot of confidence. Another thing, like when one of the black belt tests I took, I had to meditate for 3 hours. And then I had to spar 10 fresh guys, kickboxing. How tough do you think that was? Pretty tough, right? But what does it do to the confidence level? Takes it through the roof. So don't be afraid of challenges. Embrace them. This is an opportunity to get better, an opportunity to get stronger, right? An opportunity to become tougher. Every time you have a task, every time you're doing a rep, every time you're working out, every time you're shooting your single, your double. Where's my double guy? So you're doing your double, right? Try to make it better than the time before. Why? Every time you do it, it's an opportunity to get better. Every time you run, it's an opportunity to get better. Every time you lift, it's an opportunity to get better. Every time you do a cradle, it's an opportunity to get better. Take advantage of that. Look, time's going to tick by. See, it just went again. Just went again. Time is going to tick by. What are you doing with that time? Are you taking advantage of every second that you're out there? Are you taking advantage of every minute that you're out there? Because, when you look at things, you look at a match. If you look at a whole season or a whole career, does that seem pretty daunting? Right? It's like, oh my God, this is a long season. Wrestling's a hard, long season. Right? But you know what you want to do? You want to chunk it. You ever hear a saying of how to eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant? Anyone know? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. Think about a wrestling match. Okay, say you got a tournament. You may have, who knows, maybe you have 5 matches. Who knows? Maybe you have 3. Whatever it is, right? So if you look at that, like, wow, that's a lot of wrestling I got to do. But if you break it down to this, 1 second at a time. Can you break things down into 1 second increments? You can do anything for 1 second, right? Think about that. If you're in control of the situation for 1 second, and then the next second, and the next second, and the next one, all of a sudden, those seconds add up to a minute. So now we control the action for a minute, right? And then we double that, we controlled it for the period. And then we do it again, and then we do it again, and all of a sudden, the match is over and we controlled it because we broke it down. 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 period at a time, 1 match at a time. You chunk it. 1 bite at a time on that elephant. And break it down like that. The season, 1 week at a time, 1 match at a time. Take one thing at a time. Also, you know what that does? It keeps you in the present moment, doesn't it? That keeps you in the present moment. It keeps you engaged. And the thing is, just think, if every time you went onto the mat for practice, or you went into the weight room, or you did your calisthenics, or you did your running, if you said, I want to do better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get better. What do you think how you're going to approach this? How do you think you're going to approach that? Right? It's kind of cool, right? It's like, wow, I'm getting to do this. Now, do you think then you'll be thankful? Thankful for the opportunity, right? Because now I'm getting better. Are you going to be more aggressive then? Right? Yeah, aggressive and relentless and pursue this. Right? Then you're going to get rid of this fear of losing and making mistakes. Because all that stuff will be left on the mat, left in the practice room. And of course, you're never going to quit. So everything comes together, these mindset principles. And these are mindset principles. You just say them to yourself every day in the mirror, at least 3 times. Get up and say them. And I'll tell you what, it's important that you use these words and that your mind hears your mouth speaking those words. Because that reinforces and it goes into your subconscious. And your body will respond to that. If you're saying negative words, even like in jest, you know what, the body doesn't know that. The mind doesn't know that. And it'll feel that way. So you want to, don't be afraid, there's a difference between being cocky and confident. Okay? Confident is you're convinced. You're convinced because you know what, you put in the work. So this is how you're going to get your confidence. And it's bred from competency. Anybody tell me what competency is? Will I drink some water? Will you tell me what competency is? I'm sorry, I can't hear. That's comprehension. Yeah. Okay, so, guys, I told you, if I say something, you have a question, you don't know what it is, what are you supposed to do? Ask me, right? Ask me. So if you don't know what competency is, it's okay, but now we're going to learn. So, competency is being good at something. How do you get good at something? Who can tell me? Pointed practice, right? Because if you have pointless practice, if you have poor practice, is it going to make you better? No. Just because somebody's been doing something long doesn't mean they're good. Just because someone practices doesn't mean they're good. If they have pointed, real practice, purposeful practice, that's going to help you. That's going to make you good. So that's why if we are trying to get better, we are taking advantage. We are using each practice as an opportunity to get better. How's that practice going to be then? Pretty good, right? That's going to breed your confidence. Here, you guys ever hear of the rule of 10,000, how to master something? Yeah, go ahead. 10,000. You know who Bruce Lee was? Okay. I actually trained with his training partner. His training partner was Danny Santo. We used to train together. I got certified by him. Guy's like incredible. Guy's like 80 years old doing kettlebells. It's a beast. And he had a 900-yard dash in high school, in college. Yeah, it's pretty fast, right? Dan is like 80 now, 81, something like that. So, Bruce Lee said, "I fear not the man who practices 10,000 kicks. I fear the man who practices 10,000 kicks once." Where's my double guy? Okay, what's the first takedown you learned when you were a kid? Double leg, right? And you know this guy, you might know him, you might not, Jordan Boros. Yeah. What's he famous for? Double leg, right? Beating everyone in the world with the move that you learned first. The first takedown you learn is a double leg. Do you think he mastered that? Probably mastered it better than anybody else, right? So does it really matter the complexity of a move or the fact that you're really good at it? How many people can stop Jordan Boros' double, especially during his prime? Could anyone stop it? No. No one could stop that double during his prime. That's mastery. Let me ask you this. If you want to master something and you want to get it done in a year, let's say. Pick a move, any move. Let's do the math on it. So we need to do 10,000 reps in a year, right? How many reps is that per month? I'll do it easier for you. How many reps is that per week? let's say 200, right? If we do 200 reps a week, right, times 50 weeks, that's 10,000, right? So 200 reps a week. You practice 5 days a week, that's 40 reps a practice. Think about it. Let's say you have 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves, whatever. How long would it take you to practice? I haven't picked on you. What's your favorite takedown? High crotch. How long would it take you to hit that 40 times in a practice? 20 minutes to do that? 10 to 15, right? Probably. 40 high crotches. If you do 4 a minute, I know I'm putting you on the spot with math. It's all right. So you can get that done relatively quickly, right? So just think, by putting in 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, you can master that technique. 15 minutes. How much time you spend on your phone? How much we looking at TikTok? How much we Snapchatting? Right? More than 15 minutes. Right? Just think, you took that 15 minutes and you put it toward mastering a move. And you got it down so well that no one can stop you. What would that do to your confidence? Would you have competency? Would you be good at it? Heck yeah. Who's in charge of that? The person in the mirror, right? The person in the mirror that you say your mindset principles to every day. That's the one. You have all this power in your hands, don't you? It's at your disposal. You have this. This is something each one of you can do. So the thing is that, when we approach a practice, and I don't care if it's strength and conditioning, I don't care if it's your wrestling practice, I don't care if your mindset practice, you approach it with a purpose. Like that time's going to go by, like I said before, what are you going to do with that time? Are you going to make the best of this opportunity that you have? So let me ask something. There's two things here. Human beings like to seek out pleasure and avoid pain, right? That's only natural. Nobody really wants to seek out pain. But when it comes to wrestling and it comes to being successful in something, you have either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Can someone tell me what the difference between those? The pain of discipline. What do I mean by the pain of discipline? Anyone want to take a stab at it? Yeah.
Doing something that you don't want to do, like going on a run early in the morning, or going to the gym after practice, or just something that hurts physically.
Yeah.
But you do it anyways because you want to get something out of it.
You're going to get better from it. Yeah. It's going to separate you. I'll tell you, when I was kickboxing, my coach said, do something that you hate to do. I hate to run long distance. I'm a sprinter. So I'd go out there and run, and it was miserable, but I wound up actually getting pretty decent at it. But I'll tell you, I was in a kickboxing match, and I'm losing, and I'm getting kicked, and I'm in the corner, and I'm thinking, I ran all those miles not to lose. I ran those miles like a win, and I fought back and wound up getting a TKO. And that was just going through my head when I was getting kicked and punched. Why? Because I sacrificed. You make that sacrifice. When you put something in, you get something out. Look, if you have a bank account and you don't put any money in it, and you go to the bank, say, I want to go buy a car or buy something, right? And there's nothing there. Well, you got nothing there. You put nothing in. But if you put in your 40 reps a day, At the end of the year, you got 10,000 of them. So when you go to take them out, you're going to have something good. You're going to have something there because you put in. Remember, whatever you put in, you're going to get out. And it might not come immediately. It might come down the road. But that sacrifice, that dedication, that is what's going to make the difference for you. So you're either going to have the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Because if you look at this, how many times, look, and I fall in there too. I'm like, oh man, I wish I did that. I wish I did that. I should have done this. I could have done this. I would have done this. Guess what, guys? Shoulda, woulda, coulda, don't add up to one little word. Did. Did. So don't give yourself those excuses, because you know what? The person we're most likely to lie to is who? Selves, right? Yeah, I did enough. Oh, that's good enough. I studied enough. I worked out enough. But no. You have to understand that the more that you put into this, the more it's going to mean to you. Look, has anybody ever worked for something and got it? How does that feel? Feels great, doesn't it? It's like a high like nothing. And it may not be even anything big to anybody else. It may not mean anything to anyone else, but you know what? It means something to you, and that's what counts. But it feels great, right? And if you just get something, if somebody gives you something, does it really have that same meaning? Unless there's some sentimental thing for it. But most of the time, and when you earn it, it means more. When you earn it, when you built it, it means something to you. And that's what, you're building yourselves. You're building your skill set. And that's going to mean more to you. So, another one is, when we want to relax under pressure. How do we do that? How do we do that? You ever go to these tournaments, big tournaments, right? So you're there, and maybe the crowd is really loud. Maybe the gym is hot. A lot of wrestling going on. What do you think you should do there? Or even just leave. Go out, right? Don't sit in there. Go to the cafeteria. Walk around. Clear your head. Get out of the environment. Relax. Did you guys ever hear the 3 principles of life? Okay. So here, everything's in 3s. Think about this, like birth, life, and death, things like that, right? But think about this. Breathing. Breathing. After 3 minutes, you die. Water. After 3 days, you die. Food. 3 weeks, you die. Okay? 3. So what's the first one? Breathing. If you can't breathe, can you do anything else? No. If you can't breathe, it's over. Nothing else matters. So think about it. If you can't control your breath, how are you going to relax? So you want to control that breath. And this is something else that you should do too. Every time you're going to go work out, go like this. And listen, I have to do this too because I have a teenage daughter. So I have to relax when I have to talk to her. So do this. Okay, now I can talk to her. I'm calm, okay, because, it's going to be something off the wall. So the thing is that, if you do that, if you go and practice this breathing, 3 times, just 3 nice breaths before you go into training, before you go on that mat, what's going to happen physiologically then? Yeah. Because the body knows it's going to do something, right? And just remember, you have a thing called the SNS. That's a sympathetic nervous system, right? Sympathetic nervous system. And what happens when you're going to have a match? Let me ask you, what happens? glasses, curly hair. What happens when you have a match? What happens? You feel like your hands get sweaty. Yeah, right? Okay, so some people, your hands get sweaty, right? Maybe the legs feel weak. Your heart starts racing, right? And you know what? You know who Customato was? He was Mike Tyson's trainer. He said, the hero and the coward feel the same emotions. The hero and the coward feel the same emotions. That happens to everyone. But it's how you manifest it. Do you say, oh, I'm scared and nervous? Or, oh, I'm excited, I'm hyped. I'm ready to roll. I'm good to go. It's what are you going to apply to this? Those are feelings. Everybody gets those feelings, guys. Everybody gets the feelings. But how are you going to apply it? Are you going to use it to help you? Or are you going to let it hurt you? It's going to be something that you're going to be able to bring you to go to the next level? Or is it going to make you nervous and scared? So use this to your advantage. You definitely want to use this stuff to your advantage. So we also, and I touched on this a little bit before, but your strength and conditioning. Can you change your height? No, can't change your height. Okay? So you can't change that. Can you change your genealogy? No. But guess what you can change? Can you change your strength and conditioning? Can you make yourself stronger? Remember, guys, strength is a choice, so is weakness. It's a choice. What's your choice going to be? Are you going to make yourself stronger? Are you going to make yourself in better shape? If you are stronger and in better shape, can you hit your doubles? Where's my double guy? Can you hit your doubles like you want, right? But if you're out of shape and you're not strong and you don't put the work in and it comes time to execute and you have nothing in a gas tank, what's going to happen? So use your mindset for your strength and conditioning as well, right? You want to apply mindset to everything you do in life. Do you think it would help with relationships? Heck yeah, right? Absolutely. Think it will help with schoolwork? Oh yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely, right? So these are all the things that you can do. When you're doing your strength, your conditioning, your wrestling training, you want to apply your mindset to it. Because all of these things, guys, are a choice. And the choice is yours. The choice is yours. Guys, well, that's all I know. So, anybody have any questions on anything? Anything you can ask me about. I know I didn't even give a real introduction about myself, but just to let you know, I'm a college professor. I've written 5 books. I just dropped one on for the Dummy series that came out on Monday. I coached in the UFC. I've trained some very high-level people. I worked with SEAL Team 6. I'm sure you guys are familiar with those. I trained Army Rangers. So I've worked with NFL teams, NHL players, top NCAA champions in wrestling and other sports. So anybody have any questions? Yes, sir. Okay, so that's called having trouble pulling the trigger. Okay, so what I did with one of my guys was this, and he wound up doing fantastic with this. Now, are you taking too long to shoot when you're out there? Yeah. Okay. So here's what you do in the practice room. Every 15 seconds you have to hit a takedown. Every 15 seconds, hit a takedown. I had to do this with some of my fighters too. And what that's going to do is going to break you of that. And let me ask you something. What's the difference between a tournament and your practice? Right, it's just wrestling. It's just wrestling. It's funny when, it reminds me of a story when I was, this guy, Joe Ryan, good friend of mine, he coached at Ohio State and Rutgers and everything. And we were going out to nationals for freestyle and Greco. And he was working out pretty hard the day before. I'm like, Joe, we're wrestling tomorrow. What are you doing? He goes, it's just another day. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You wrestle, how much, you wrestle a lot? Yeah. You good at it? No, are you good at it? No, you're not? Okay. Well, then we're going to get good at it. Right? And we're going to do it by making yourself uncomfortable. Look, you ran marathons. You're tough. It's hard to do. Hit those 15 seconds. Every 15 seconds, hit another takedown. Yes?
I think it's more of a psychological.
Well, that's why we're going to get over that.
Like, I put a lot of work into my mindset, but I'm in the training room and I'm not able to apply it.
Well, what's the difference?
Control the pressure.
Yeah, well, okay, the pressure. What pressure do you have on you? What's the worst that can happen? But forget expectations. That's not present mindset. What's the worst that can happen? You go on a match, you lose? Okay, so what? Okay, you guys know who Miyamoto Musashi is? Okay? Book of Five Rings, right? What were his stakes? You lose, what happens? You die, okay? Little higher stakes, right? You don't have those stakes. You lose, you can fix this. So, what is the difference? What are you doing different when you go out there than when you're practicing? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts when you go out on that mat as opposed to when you're wrestling in the practice room? What you want to do is you want to duplicate, you want to make the practice carry over to the mat. So make things as realistic as you can and make them as similar as possible in the practice room. I'm talking about from headgear to uniform to everything, right? For when you go out on that mat. And you know, you're just live wrestling. And that's what you have to get into your head. It's just live wrestling. And does it matter if you win or lose? No, just wrestle. You're holding yourself back. I've seen this a million times. You know? But to build that confidence in you, you hit those takedowns every 15 seconds, it's going to help you dramatically. Okay? Okay. Good. Good. Yes?
Well, I always had this fear, like I've always been put in situations where I have to face someone who's bigger than me, any gender, and so like, you can like give advice to like try to get over that fear since I am put with people who are kind of heavier than me or just heavier than me in general.
Okay, so what you always want to do, think of it like a lawyer. What does a lawyer do? They build a case, right? So you look at the pros and cons. Say, okay, this person's bigger. You think of three things that you have. I'm quicker. I'm slicker, right? So what you want to do is you want to think of you have better endurance. Can you control what your endurance is like? Yes, you can control your endurance, right? You're in charge of your conditioning, right? No one's stopping you from going out and running every day, right? Right? So you can get yourself in better shape, in the best shape possible. And how about your moves, your technique? Yeah. Can you be slicker than this person? There you go. So you want to focus on not going into their strengths, but using your strengths. Okay? Does that help? Does that help?
Yeah.
Good. Anybody else? Yes?
Do you have like a mantra you say to yourself, like when you're feeling really down, you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to do this or that?
Yeah, I say stuff to myself, but you know, it's not for public. I say bad things to myself. I call myself names and say, come on, get up. Get up. Because let me ask you something. Do you think I feel like getting up every morning, doing my stretches, doing my calisthenics? No. But you know what? I'll tell you what, you want to do a thing, I call it the 90 days of suck. Don't give yourself, it just sucks for 90 days. So what you do is you don't stop, no matter what. You don't give yourself a break for 90 days. Promise yourself you're going to do this for 90 days in a row. And guess what's going to happen? You will form a habit. And then it becomes a habit, and then you do it. You just do it automatically. And then you don't feel right if you're not doing it. Like if I don't do something in the morning, I don't feel right. I have to do at least something every morning. I've been doing that for, 8 million years. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Anyone? Bueller? No? Well, guys, you have been awesome. And if you ever want to check me out, I got my YouTube channel is @TheMasterPhil. So I got tons of stuff on there. You can hit me up, ask me questions, and I really appreciate you coming. I want to get a picture with everyone though too. But thank you guys.